What is the role of the big powers on the council with that in mind? It should be fairly self-evident. Why are they there? Why are they on the council? Why are they permanent members? The big powers, the permanent five. Why are they there and why are they permanent members? The biggest nations in what way? I mean, Britain, England is a kind of tiny island. Population. India has the largest population in the world. Is it on the? Is it one of the big five?
India's military is too stellar.
So it depends on army, is what you're saying. Germany has actually one of the strongest armed forces in the world.
What would it have to? I don't know how I want to explain.
Why? When was the United Nations founded?
Like
After what?
World War II.
World War II. So when we think of these big five countries, the Soviet Union, the United States, Britain, France, China, what were they? Yeah, they were the allies during World War II. So they were considered the big powers. Are they still the big powers?
Yeah.
They are? What if I told you that each nation has to contribute to the UN budget, and how much they contribute is based on their total gross national product, how much they produce every year? The smallest contributor only contributes 1/1000% of the total UN budget. The United States contributes the most. It contributes 22% of the total UN budget. 9 countries, the top 9 there, contribute 75% of the total budget. You can see the United States 22%, Japan 16.62%, Germany 8.66%, United Kingdom, France, Italy, Canada, China, Spain, and Mexico. Who do you think, if you're paying the majority of the bill, who do you think should have the most say? The United States. So is it fair that a country like Cuba has the same equal voice in the General Assembly than the United States? But in the Security Council, it's a little more fair, isn't it? Because they have the veto power. But what about Germany? And I'll skip Japan because right now they're on the Security Council, but they're not a permanent member. They don't have veto power. But what about a country like Germany? It's paying 8%, close to 9% of the total budget of the United Nations. But yet it can't veto anything. It doesn't even have a voice on the Security Council. It has the same vote as Burkina Faso. It has the same power as Burkina Faso, who is probably contributing with the 1/1000%. Is that fair?
Yeah.
It is fair? If you and your friends are going out to dinner and you offer to pay for everything, you think you should be the one to choose where you're going?
Unless you're just a really nice person, you should. Maybe they're just really nice people. That's why they're not going to.
Well, we just already talked. We just came through that nations are kind of out for their own national self-interest. So is it really the case that they're just nice people and they're trying to help out?
No, but.
Well, it could be. I mean, how much aid does the United States gets 22% of the budget? Look at that organization chart of the United Nations and how many committees and organizations are out there, such as UNESCO, the World Health Organization, the International Court of Justice. How many of those are really to help developing countries? The World Bank. So in a way, it could be. So, are the Big Five truly the Big Five? No? The United Kingdom once had a vast empire. It still has a lot of diplomatic connections. I mean, think of the countries that still print a picture of the Queen on their money. There's 7 or 8 who that's their official currency. The head of their state is technically the Queen of England. Australia, Canada, the United Kingdom. They're pretty politically powerful, aren't they, given that? But yet they're not one of the top 3 producers. Who's not on this list? Russia, exactly. But yet they have a veto power. Is that fair? But they're also very important, and they also have a broad range of political influence. So how do we judge what is the power? What power would determine who would be on the Security Council? I will tell you this: Japan and Germany for the past decade and a half have really been pushing the United Nations to reform the Security Council and include themselves as permanent members with veto power. What matters more to members of the UN? International cooperation towards universal goals like peace. Everybody wants peace, right? Or eradication of hunger and disease. Or national self-interest such as security and accessibility to resources. National self-interest? Then why do so many of them get involved in an organization like this? Where, that's, if you remember, we looked over the charter and we looked at the principles. I mean, the idea was to promote international peace mainly. Why would you involve yourself in an organization like this if your only purpose was to pursue your own national self-interest? And is pursuing your own national self-interest wrong? But look at the case of Iran. They're pursuing their own national self-interest by developing nuclear power, possibly nuclear weapons. Is that wrong? That was the whole argument, was, hey, we're just using it for peaceful purposes. Even though we're saying we might bomb Israel out of existence at some point. Is it wrong for them to have nuclear power if other nations have it and are using it for purposes to provide power to their people?